Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There are certain power failures and signal failures reported, but we'll start the session. And before moving into the session, I think everybody is aware of how it works. And this is a 8-day CPD program, and mainly we are focusing, or we mention as a workshop series. And those are, you can simply say it is in distinct separate workshops, 8 numbers. And for the month of December, we have 3. Up to 17th December. Today is the first day, and 10th and the 17th are the days for December. Considering the December weekend, December and the year-end leaves and the other activities all the professionals have, therefore we have kept the last 2 weeks free for the December, and we resume our 4th session in January 1st week. So that's how it goes, and until 1st week of February, we have these 8 sessions are lined up. And for your information and certain ground rules to start with, we have the Zoom platform, and we have opened it for 1,000 participants for the maximum numbers. And in any case, if the number exceeds 1,000, we have opened our live streaming of the YouTube as well. There are even the live now, right now the live streaming is open and people have logged in to the live streaming. Live streaming is for there are 2 objectives of having this live streaming. One is to have a backup for this Zoom platform, and if anybody disconnected through Zoom, he or she can continue with the live streaming. At the same time, the recorded live streaming will be shared among the WhatsApp groups and the social media platforms, so that you can simply go through the sessions again and again. At the same time, if you have missed anything, you can continue watching and understanding the concepts by the presenters. And the chat box is not open for everybody at always, and we open the forum for Q&A session, question and answer session, but could mostly be after the core session. Core session is the session conducted by the presenter today, and we are not interrupting the presenter in between the core session. Instead, we have a Q&A session afterwards, most probably starting from 8 o'clock onwards. The core sessions are generally about 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. Afterwards, we open the session for Q&A. And Q&A session, how it works, you can use the chat box. At the same time, you can use the hand raise option in Zoom platform. So we give the opportunity first in, first serve basis. And to mark the attendance, to get the participation certificate, you have to mark the attendance. And the attendance is compulsory, and we consider minimum of 80% of attendance to be marked. And how you have to mark attendance is, again, to use the chat box. We will share a Google form to mark the attendance through chat box of Zoom, as well as in the YouTube streaming. To access to the YouTube streaming chat box, you have to subscribe the YouTube channel. Only the subscribers can access the YouTube chat box. Otherwise, we think that it becomes a junk later on. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, with those ground rules, we would like to start the first session of the CPD program for IT, BPO, and ICT business. Mama single important keyword the Silveran Sandhya Pratana කරන ගමන්ම අපි Zoom platform එක 1000ක් දක්වා යනකම් අපිට මේක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි දවස් 8ක් දක්වා මෙතන දවස් 8ක session 8ක් අපිට පවත්වනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම දෙසැම්බර් මාසයේ අද දින 3 සහ 10 වෙනිදා සහ 17 වෙනිදා 6:00 සිට 8:00 දක්වා තමයි අපි කාලසීමාවන් යොදාගෙන තියෙන්නේ. විශේෂයෙන්ම දෙසැම්බර් අවසාන සති 2 කාර්යබහුල සහ විශේෂයෙන්ම නිවාඩු ගත කරන නිසා අපි සති 2 අතහැරලා ජනවාරි මාසයේ සිට නැවත පටන් ගන්නවා. ජනවාරි මාසයේ සහ පෙබ්‍රුවාරි මාසයේ පළවෙනි සතියේ ඇතුළුව තමයි අපි sessions 8 ඉවර වෙන්නේ. විශේෂ කාරණා කීපයක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි අපි මේ Zoom platform එක කරා live streaming එකකුත් අපි දෙනවා YouTube එකේ. එතකොට එකක් තමයි අපිට chat box එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න අපිට අවස්ථාවක් දෙන්නේ නැහැ අපි මේ ප්‍රධාන දේශනය අතරතුර. ඊට අමතරව ප්‍රධාන දේශනයේ අවසානයේදී Q&A ප්‍රශ්න ඇසීමට අපට අවස්ථාවක් ලැබෙනවා. ඒක උඟක් වලට පැය භාගයක වගේ කොටසක් වෙයි. ඒ ඇතුළත අපි chat box එක open කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව සිල් කරන්න පුළුවන් hand raise option එක මම කරනවා. සිල් කරාම දන්නවා මෙතන Zoom වල තියෙන reaction button එකේ hand raise එක. hand raise button එක දැන් මම hand raise කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේ hand raise button එක දුන්නාට පස්සේ මේකෙන් අපි පළමුව පැමිණෙනාට පළවෙනි අවස්ථාව හැටියට අපි ප්‍රශ්න ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න අවස්ථාවක් දෙනවා. සීමාවක් සහිතව අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන් මේක කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙන නිසා විශේෂයෙන් අපි කැමති ඔබගේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් WhatsApp අපේ groups වල දාන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපේ සංවිධායක මණ්ඩලයට WhatsApp කරලා තියෙන අපිට මේවා එකතු කරලා අපි දේශකයාට අවසාන එකතු කරලා අපි උත්තරයට ලබා දෙනවා. ඊළඟ වැදගත්ම කාරණය තමයි පැමිණීම සලකුණු කිරීම. කියන්නේ attendance marking කියන එක very important. අපි ඒක කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒකත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන මේ Google form එක කරාම තමයි. ඒක යම් කිසි වෙලාවක විනාඩි 15ක window එකක් ඇතුළත අපි මේ Google form එක open කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට කියන්න බෑ කොයි වෙලේද Google form එක එන්නේ කියලා. ඒ නිසා බලාගෙන ඉන්න chat box එක Zoom එක සහ YouTube chat box දෙකේම chat දෙකේම අපි මේ Google form එක share කරනවා. විනාඩි 15ක වෙන්නේ window එකක් තමයි ඒක තියෙන්නේ. ඒ chat box ඒ attendance mark කරන්න. attendance mark කරන්න හදිසි බැරි වුණොත් සහ power failure වගේ වුණොත් එහෙම අපි recommend කරන්නේ ඔබ දේශනය අතරතුර ගත්ත screenshots. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට attendance mark කරන්න බැරි වුණොත් screenshot එහෙම නැත්නම් පස්සේ හරි YouTube එකකින් බලලා screenshots 3ක් වත්තට ගන්න. intervals 3කදී. ඒ කියන්නේ පැය භාගයේ වගේ intervals 3කදී කියන screenshot 3ක් හෝ 4ක් ලබාගෙන ඒක අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න අපි අවස්ථාවක් ලබා දෙනවා නැවතත් Google form එක කරා මේක නරඹුවා කියලා ඔප්පු කරන්න. ඊට අමතරව ස්ක්‍රීන්ෂොට්ස් තියාගන්න පස්සේ වෙලාවක සංවිධායක මණ්ඩලයේ යම්කිසි ඉන්ක්වයරි එකක් කරොත් සම්පූර්ණ කතා කිරීමක් කරොත් මේ attendance prove කරන්න කියලා මේ screenshots වැදගත් වෙනවා. Just to talk about the screenshots, what we generally do if you have a failure of power failure or signal failure, so if you disconnected or if you couldn't continue for maybe 30-40 minutes, or if you lose the whole session, what we recommend is you can either watch it or connect through the YouTube live streaming, or else for the worst case, you can watch them later, and we recommend you to keep at least 3 slots or 4 screenshots with the 3 slots of 30 minutes interval to prove you have participated for the session. So we will later share another Google form for those who miss the attendance to mark with by uploading those screenshots as well. So with that remark, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome you all to the session, the first day of the CPD programs conducted to enhance the knowledge and the awareness of IT BPO business process outsourcing. To move into today's session, we have a senior as well as one of a veteran IT specialist as the opening presenter today, namely Engineer Namal Jayatilaka. Namal Jayatilaka is a seasoned telco telecommunications software professional with closer to 20 years of experience in the industry. Namal has cultivated a deep understanding of core telecom functions, digital transformations, software development and delivery, and product research and development. He has an extensive experience in working with global industry leaders to lead award-winning customer-focused project. Namal holds an MBA from PIM, from the University of, PIM, University of Jawadhanapura, PG Diploma in Telecommunication, and his basic engineering degree he obtains under the discipline of Electronic and Telecommunication from University of Moratuwa. On top of everything, I would like to introduce Namal. Engineer Namal is one of a patriotic engineer, because we had this discussion sometimes ago, about a month ago, then I requested him that Engineer Namal, how we can contribute, how we can give an eye-opening at least to especially these young undergraduates and the graduates. Still, we have opportunities in different areas. So he said, Nalin, yes, it's high time, and it's our responsibility as well to share our knowledge and give this eye-opening to the Sri Lankan community. So with that objective, I think he's one of the expert in the subject, as well as one of the humble and honest gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on screen Engineer Namal to start the session of 8-day CPD program, and today is our first day. Let's listen to Namal first, and then we'll have our question and answer sessions at the end of the session. Engineer Namal, it's over to you.
Thank you, Nalin. Thanks for that intro. Hope you can hear me well.
Yes, great. Yeah, please.
Yeah. Participants, thanks for joining the session. Let me share my slides. You can see the slides in full screen, right?
Yes, clear.
Yeah, okay. So today I'm going to talk about IT software industry opportunities, as Nalin mentioned, and a bit of background to where we are today in terms of the industry and what are the opportunities we see within Sri Lanka, and how we can prepare ourselves to capture some of these opportunities individually as well as a country. I'll start with a background and then move towards what is happening in the industry a bit, and then we'll cover some of the disciplines in software engineering, IT field, and then what other areas you need to look into to kickstart and basically develop yourself to suit one of these streams. Yeah, so I will start with this historical slide, or the what human race has gone through. If you try to visualize, if we revert back ourselves to 4000 BC, that is 4000 years before the Jesus Christ born. That's how they mark the years. Human race went through an agricultural revolution where they try to get the crop production increase with various technologies, technological improvements. And then in 1800s, people went through industrial revolution, first one, that is with the introduction of water and steam power to mechanize some of these production facilities. Then in 90s, they went through the second industrial revolution, where mass production was introduced to these production lines with the use of electrical energy. Actually the first assembly line or first production line was a slaughterhouse mechanized with electrical energy. Then in 2000s, people went through the third industrial revolution, where use of electronic and IT systems took basically come to effect to further improve the productivity and throughput of what they are doing in each and every production line. And now we are in fourth industrial revolution, where people talk about cyber physical systems, that is partially a physical element and a partially a virtual element, or some sort of control or program in cyberspace. So this is the industrial revolution we are in. And if you see the timeline between these revolutions, from agricultural to the first one, it has taken 5,000, 6,000 years. But from first to second, it's maybe 100 years or a few hundred years. And second to third, again lesser time. And third to fourth, it's even lesser. Right? What does this say? The people are going through a very rapid evolution, and that interval between two evolutions is getting reduced. And even while we are in industrial revolution 4.0, people talk about industrial revolution 5.0 as well. So that is the world we live, and we will have to accept it as a fact, and we will have to prepare ourselves to face some of these not challenges, actually face the reality, as well as to capitalize some of these trends. That is where we need to be smart. We need to select what we are going to do, and we need to get ourselves prepared, learn, upskill, and then and capture these opportunities, maximize these opportunities to our advantage. Now, coming back to Industrial Revolution 4.0 we are in, there are a few technologies talked about. AI/ML. AI is artificial intelligence, machine learning. Then big data analytics, that is analyzing and getting maximum use of the data available in ecosystems. Then cyber physical systems, as I said. Then Internet of Things, that is smart devices connected as a network and trying to do various automations as well as advancements. Sensor networks, again related, advanced robotics, cloud computing, driverless cars, 3D, 4D printing, waste manufacturing, blockchain. So these are some of the technologies talked about in Industrial Revolution 4.0. And this is not an exhaustive list. These are some of the things talked about in Industrial Revolution 4.0. And then deep try to deep dive into some of the technologies in discussion. Right. So if you take AI, again, it is driven or it is broken into areas like data fabrics, engineering, generative AI, decision intelligence. So these are very advanced technologies. Cloud computing, also cloud native platforms, cloud data ecosystems, industry cloud platforms, then even enterprises, that is large organizations like distributed enterprises, high automation, super apps, security and governance becoming very, very important because we are dealing with a lot of data. And cyber security, a lot of data available in the public internet, and people are connecting themselves to social networks. So security and governance becoming very important. Then new technological trends like NFT, Web3, Metaverse, Open World, AI-generated composite applications. So these are very, very advanced technologies, but those are not mythical things. These are things people do. These are things people research about. These are things people use to enhance day-to-day lives of human race, as well as create new things, improve productivity, introduce new solutions to some of the business problems we have. Right? So these are some of the real technologies people live and breathe in today's world. And this is basically based on the research done by Gartner Research Organization, well known to this kind of research. And there's a huge cycle of technologies maturing. You call it hype cycle, right? So these are some of the emerging techs coming up in relation to Industrial Revolution 4.0 as well as some of the advancements. So it's almost impractical for a person to learn all of these technologies, right? And go deep. But we will have to be aware what is happening around us. That is why I just showed these two slides, right? Now, this slide will be a familiar thing for you, right? So the world around us, where we live today. So we live in a world where each and every person carries a smartphone. Actually, it's not just a phone. Right? So the mobile device or the device you carry is a really powerful device. You can take calls, you can message, you can check emails, you can even take a video, edit and upload to a social media site, or you can even do a presentation with your mobile phone. Right? So you can connect it to a projector and you can do few slides and present. And you can store your valuable information, including some of the wallet-like things. Okay? So it's a very, very powerful device you are carrying as of now, and then almost everyone access the features, apps available in these smartphones, and then digital payments or QR code or digital exchanges, right? So again, people, I'm sure the audience here must have experienced at least one digital transaction as of now, because if you go to a fuel station to pump fuel, you do it with a QR code. You get your quota accessed with a QR code. Similarly, you can do payments with QR code, and you can maintain your wallet, your mobile, and a lot of things. Right? And smart cars, again, a vehicle is considered as is one of the most uh, improved or most valued design of mechanical engineering, but now getting smarter with software-based solution systems and all these things. Right? And then AR, VR technologies, smart cities. So these are some of the things we experience today. Smart cities, in the sense there are surveillance systems in cities. Even within Colombo, there are some cameras set up and surveillance happening. And then smart transportation, then ad hoc networks, and a lot of things, smart buildings, a lot of things discussed in smart cities also. So this is the world we live in. And if you see this image, first is actually a classic video recorder, but now no one use those video recorders anymore, right? And second one is a cassette or music recorder or song recorder. We used to actually use these things to record songs and listen to them with a cassette player, right? But no one uses these things. Whereas people use Netflix, people use Spotify, and classic letters is replaced with Gmail. And you don't see typewriters, you see laptops and Word. And you don't see albums even now. You just upload things to Facebook or social media, and you maintain your social profile there. And you don't access these mobile or these land phones anymore. You take WhatsApp calls. You don't have libraries sometimes. You have Wikipedia. You maintain your social profile. You search for jobs in LinkedIn, not in paper anymore, right? And the last one is a classic floppy disk. I'm not sure how many of you have used these things, right? But actually, in our era, when we start doing learning computers, we use these things, right? And it is just 1.44 MB storage, yeah, a physical unit you insert to a computer and used to store files. Right now you don't talk about MBs, you don't even talk about GBs, you talk about TBs, terabytes, and sometimes petabytes, right? So this is the advancement we are going through, and these are some of the statements or words from industry veterans like Mark, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, what they are seeing. So every company is a software company, and software is eating the world in all sectors, not only IT software technology field, but all the field, right? So we need to get prepared ourselves, we need to be prepared to capture these opportunities. That is the most important thing, right? Then some stats around on what is happening globally. If you see the table below, the column to right is 2008 and column to left is 2018. These are top companies of the world, top ranked largest global companies. And when you compare 2018 versus 2008, in 2008, PetroChina, Exxon, General Electric, those were at top. Right? But now in 2018, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Tencent. So these are the top companies. Almost all these companies are IT tech companies. They do platform business. Now, if you take Uber, which we all know now, especially with the pandemic situation, we use Uber to order food and even book a taxi and all these things. So Uber is the largest vehicle fleet management company, but doesn't own any of these vehicles. So the vehicle is owned by an individual, but connected with this platform. So we call it a platform business. So Uber is a platform business. Airbnb, again, a platform business where they don't own any space, but simply largest accommodation or space providing company. Netflix, again, connecting content providers, and they are the largest content store in the world. And Amazon, the largest warehouse or the largest goods store, but they don't own the supply chain owns these things, right? So these companies have found a technology driven platform business to replace some of the classical businesses, and then they have become some of the most valuable entities globally. So this is what is happening in global arena with respect to some of these industries, and my key message is IT tech is becoming more and more important and eating into almost all the domains or disciplines, right? And projected growth of the global software population, it's ever increasing. As of 2022, it's forecasted around 28 million, and by 2030, it's forecasted around 45 million. So it's almost doubling, and these are some of the opportunities we need to capture. Even in Sri Lankan context, 2020. We were talking about 175 IT professionals, and 2022 it's 225, and by 2024 we are talking about 300,000 IT professionals, and industry revenue from 1.2 billion to $3 billion. So becoming very, very significant. Almost figures are doubling, right? So these are the things, opportunities we need to be aware of. We need to capture and capitalize. Some more stats. So as I said, as of now, the industry revenue is around 1.5 billion. IT industry revenue in Sri Lanka with 13% CAGR, which a good growth rate, and around 113 IT professionals, and around 25,000 working on exporting IT services. This is where it becomes very, very significant, right? And then there are around 600 plus ICT companies, 61% local, which is again very good. And most of them are doing information technology. Some do business process, and some do freelance. And if you see the logos or the flags there, these are the countries these ICT companies in Sri Lanka export services to. European Union, Australia, UK, US, Singapore, Maldives, Canada, Bangladesh, India. So it's most of these countries are wealthy countries, and this shows the significance of IT industry and the potential, because it's not difficult, it's not easy to capture some of these markets, but as Sri Lankans, I think we are in a unique position to capture some of these things, because in the industry, Sri Lankan people are considered as people who can analyze a situation and give a practical solution to the business problem. So technology comes from one side, that analytical skills come from one side. And the third thing is we are a set of reliable people and quite wholeheartedly doing the work, loyal, and trying to deliver results, which is very, very good. That is what we need to inculcate, improve, and hence even though the number looks small, we have made a significant mark in software IT industry in global arena. Some of the companies are globally top-ranked companies operating out of Sri Lanka, and some of the global companies are coming and trying to start services in Sri Lanka. You must have heard few names discussed around if you are following some of these discussions. So as Sri Lankans, I think we have already created a reasonably good brand around IT software services as set of individuals who can give practical solutions to IT problems and who can add value by wholeheartedly doing that solutioning piece. and being reliable in terms of giving that solution on time and a committed delivery and all these things, right? So we are in a relatively good position to capture some of these opportunities, maximize, right? So these are some of the stats of Sri Lankan IT industry. And few more numbers. Every year around 180,000 to 200,000 qualify for universities in Sri Lanka, and around 30K to 40K students enter to a university and basically get a degree. So around 30% in art stream, 24% in bios and science streams, and 5% engineering, 22% physical science, 20% commerce, and around 6% IT. So I'm not going to say whether it is large or small. This must have constructed, or these percentages must have constructed with various objectives. But all in all, IT computer graduates is around 6%, and if you amalgamate with engineering graduates as well, who does some sort of IT work anyway, it's around 10 to 11%. And demand for this ICT graduates is around 21,000, whereas supply is around 9,000. So we see a huge gap, right? Every year this gap is increasing. So this is where the potential is, and if you just try to study these numbers, we get 180,000 to 200,000 people qualify for universities, and we are trying to create 21,000 graduates out of this lot, and we get only 9,000, right? Something not right. So we need to we can't fix everything, but we need to be aware of the situation, right? If you are basically ready, or if you are prepared, definitely you can be one of the person in this 21,000 person who is applying this 21,000 demand, or catering to that demand, right? So this is an opportunity. So I will try to summarize what I have told up to now in Sinhala, as Nalin requested. දැනට අපේ මනුෂ්‍ය වර්ගය ගත්තොත් අපි පුෂ්කාර්මික විප්ලවයකින් පටන් අරගෙන පළවෙනි කාර්මික විප්ලවය, දෙවෙනි කාර්මික විප්ලවය, තුන්වෙනි කාර්මික විප්ලවය, හතරවෙනි කාර්මික විප්ලවය, මේ හැම අවධියම පහු කරලා දැන් ඉන්නේ හතරවෙනි කාර්මික විප්ලවය කියන ඊරා එකේ. ඉතින් මේ ඊරා එක මේ බොහොම IT software technology වලින් ඉස්සරහට යන, ඒකෙන් enable වෙන revolution එකක්, විප්ලවයක්, කාර්මික විප්ලවයක තමයි අපි ඉන්නේ. ඒකයි අපි කියන්නේ cyber physical systems කියන එක. physical කියන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය අතට අහු වෙන system එකක් සහ තව තාක්ෂණයත් එක්ක බද්ධ වෙච්ච cyber කියන්නේ අපිට ඇහැට පේන්නේ නැති, but ඒකට capability එකක් add වෙන ලෝක දෙකක් match වෙන තැනක තමයි අපි ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙතනදී ලෝකේ ගොඩක් company ගත්තොත් ඒ වගේ යම්කිසි software IT සම්බන්ධතාවයක් ප්‍රයෝජනයක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ අවශ්‍යතාවය සහ ඒක එන්නෙන්නම වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ දැනට අපි 2008 ගත්තොත් ලෝකේ ලොකුම කම්පැනිස් ගත්තොත් ඒවා සමහර වෙලාවට මෙකැනිකල් ඔයිල් ඒ කියන්නේ මේවා මොනවද මේ මම මේ ස්ලයිඩ් එකට යන්නම්. petroleum products, ඒ කියන්නේ Petro China, Exxon ගත්තොත් petroleum product, then General Electric ගත්තොත් motor mechanics වාහන, ඒ වගේ දේවල්. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ දේවල් තමයි 2008 ලොකු කම්පැනිස් තිබ්බේ. දැන් තියෙන Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon වගේ මේවා IT ලෝකේ කම්පැනිස් තමයි දැන් ගොඩක් දියුණු වීගෙන යන්නේ ලෝකේ ලොකුම වැදගත්ම කම්පැනිස් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මේ ඒ වගේම ලෝකේ තියෙන software IT ස්කිල් එක තියෙන අයට තියෙන ඩිමාන්ඩ් එක ගොඩක් එන්නම වැඩි වෙනවා. 2022 එක 2030 වගේදී ඩබල් වෙනවා. ඉතින් ලංකාවෙත් ඒ වගේම ලංකාවේ ඊටත් වැඩි වේගයකින් මේක වැඩි දියුණු කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. මොකද මේ ලංකාවේ ප්‍රධාන ඩොලර් ඉන්කම් එකක් එන සෙක්ටර් එකක් විදියට IT සෙක්ටර් එක තේරුම් අරගෙන අඳුරගෙන තියෙනවා. සහ ලංකාවේ දැනටමත් IT කම්පැනිස් සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ලෝකේ ගොඩක් ලොකු රටවල් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරනවා. ඉතින් එතනදී ලංකාවේ අය සෑහෙන නමක් හදාගෙන තියෙනවා. යම්කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයකට සාර්ථක පිළිතුරක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් කමියුනිටි එකක් කොට්ටාසයක් විදියට IT තොරතුරු තාක්ෂණ දැනුමත් එක්කාසු කරලා. ඉතින් ඒකෙදි අපේ අයට පුළුවන් වෙලා තියෙනවා යුරෝපියන් යුනියන් එක, ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාව, ඇමරිකාව, සිංගප්පූරුව ඒ වගේ රටවල් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරලා යම්කිසි තැනක් හදාගන්න. ඉතින් මේක තවදුරටත් දියුණු වෙනවා. මොකද මේ අර ලංකාවේ තියෙන අයට දැනට තියෙන පිළිගැනීම බොහොම හොඳයි මේ IT ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ලංකාව ඇතුලේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ලෝකයේ සිටුේෂන් එක ගත්තත් ඒ තියෙන පිළිගැනීම වැඩි. ඉතින් හැබැයි අපිට මේ අපිට තියෙන අවස්ථාව සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේව කරගන්න, ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක අපිට අවස්ථාවකට හරව ගන්න IT කරන පිරිස් බලය අඩුයි දැනට. සාමාන්‍ය විදියට ගත්තොත් 20000ක 25000ක විතර ඊටත් වැඩිය වෙන්න පුළුවන් දැන්. ඉතින් අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තියෙද්දි අපේ යුනිවර්සිටි වලින් higher education entities වලින් එළියට එන්නේ 9000ක් විතර තමයි මේ අවුරුද්දකට. ඉතින් මේකදී ඒ 1,80,000 විතර යුනිවර්සිටිස් වලට ක්වොලිෆයි වුණාට මේ ගන්න තමයි එළියට එන්නේ. ඉතින් මෙතනදී ලොකු ગેප් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ ગેප් එක ෆිල් කරන්න ඕගොල්ලොන්ට වෙන ඩොමේන් වගේ නෙවෙයි IT ඩොමේන් එක තමන්ට උනන්දුව තියෙනවා නම් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්. සහ ඒකට අවශ්‍ය ගොඩක් ෆැසිලිටිස් ෆ්‍රීලි අවైలබල් මම ඒවා ටික කවර් කරන්න. ඉතින් ඒක අනුව මෙතන මේ සෑහෙන ඔපචුනිටි එකක් තියෙනවා. ඕගොල්ලොන්ට තමන් උනන්දු වෙලා තමන් යම්කිසි IT එක කියපුවම ගොඩක් තව ෆීල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒකක ස්කිල් යම්කිසි දුරකට වර්ධනය කරගත්තාම ඇත්තටම මේ ඩිමාන්ඩ් එක කේට කරන කෙනෙක්ව වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන් ඕගොල්ලොන්ටත් ඇත්තටම ලොකු වාසි තියෙනවා. මොකද IT ෆීල්ඩ් එක ගත්තාම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සැලරි ස්කේල්ස් බෙනිෆිට්ස් ඒ වගේ දේවල් හොඳයි. සහ කොහොමත් ඒක අපිට ගැලවෙන්න බැරි ට්‍රෙන්ඩ් එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ ලෝකේ හැමදේම IT software based වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක තමයි මට මේ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් වලින් ඇත්තටම කියන්න අවශ්‍ය වුණේ. කොච්චර ඔපචුනිටි එකක් තියෙනවද, කොයි වගේ තැනකද අපි ඉන්නේ දැනට කියලා. ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ මම කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මේ ලොකු කම්පැනිස් වල මොන වගේ දේවල්ද වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් මේකත් පොඩ්ඩක් වැදගත්. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරන්න වෙන්නේ මේ IT ෆීල්ඩ් එකට ආපුවාම ඕගොල්ලෝ IT කම්පැනි එක සමහරලාට පොඩි කම්පැනි එකට ඕගොල්ලෝ ජොයින් වෙයි. බට් ඕගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරයි ටිකක් ලොකු කම්පැනි එකක් එක්ක IT සර්විසස් දෙන්න. ඉතින් එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ කොයි වගේ දේවල්ද ලොකු කම්පැනිස් වල දැනට වෙන්නේ කියලා. So I will touch a bit on what is happening to large enterprises. So most of these enterprises are transforming themselves. So they are going through massive digital transformation. So digital transformation is actually considered in three layers: digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. Digitization is simply transforming from analog to digital. One classic example is physical document signing to electronic document signing, or sending physical printed documents here and there to emailing, right? So that is the basic digitization. Then digitalization is improve business processes by leveraging digital technologies, right? So you study the business process happening within a large organization, and you try to improve that business process by applying some of these digital technologies. And digital transformation is the overarching bigger thing. So you integrate several workflows, and you try to basically improve the customer experience, product experience, employee experience by introducing and leveraging some of these digitization technologies, right? So so each and every large organization, even in Sri Lanka, is going through this digital transformation in some form. Again, this digital transformation is driven by IT software, irrespective of the field you are in. So this is one example of how telco industry is transforming, because this is quite familiar for me. So as you all know, we started utilizing or using mobile phones just to call or send SMS. That is 10, 20, 25 years back, right? Then and you simply take a call or just send a text, and that's it. So it's a very basic feature phone you were using at that era. Then the phone became large screen with some access to internet or web. With some then came some sort of applications and these things which those can run in mobile phone. Then came the smartphone era, where you talk about a plethora of apps running in your mobile phone, catering various needs. And now you talk about multi-device, anywhere digital assistant-based enterprise-enabled device, right? So which is very complex. And you use a few mobile phones, sometimes a mobile phone and a tab and a laptop connected to each other, and connected with internet and social media everywhere. And this is how telcos have transformed themselves from that basic call making feature phone to a very sophisticated world to cater customer need, again driven by software and IT. And the other major transformation is this AI transformation, data driven, because if I will take one example now. I'm sure all of you must have used social media, right? So if you access one of these social media platforms, and if you basically like or watch one video of some field, from next day you will get lot of likewise videos or similar videos for you, right? So there's a huge process happening behind the screen to give you that preferred video. So there's a huge platform analyzing millions of billions of records to understand, okay, this person watched this video, and someone who has watched this video like this video too as well. And this is based on the categories tags in those videos. This is a similar video. We should push this video to this customer or user when he logs in next time. So this is done without any human intervention, simply with data and AI, right? So that is the power of data and AI. So almost all these social media companies run with data and AI. Their core business is data and AI, and maximizing that data AI to provide some advertising, a preferred product for you. Let's say you try to book a hotel. You search one hotel in Google. Next day, when you log to your social media account, you might see a lot of advertisement in that area, right? Data driven. So these are some of the advancements happening in some of the known industries, and it's happening not only in social media or these advertising entities, but happening in each and every enterprise. Again, this started with a passive reporting, like data-driven reporting, then data lakes, then real-time data, AI, then AI at scale now. Right? Similarly, cloud is another trend, right? On those days, large enterprises use a lot of big servers to store their applications, data, and everything. Now they use a mix of these things, cloud as well as some of the physical hardware to store. So again, one booming area for enterprises, right? So these are some of the things happening in enterprise within large enterprises. Again, related to software IT field. And this is again not an exhaustive list, but some of the trends happening within large enterprises: digital transformation, AI-driven enterprises, cloud-native enterprises are some of the things talked about. Right? So I will summarize. Then ලෝකේ ලංකාවේ තියෙන ලොකු ආයතන ගත්තොත්, ලොකු companies ගත්තොත්, ඒගොල්ලෝ software IT තාක්ෂණය පාවිච්චි කරලා ලොකු transformations වලට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝගේ field එක මොනවා වුණත්, ඒගොල්ලෝ telecom field එකේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, manufacturing field එකේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, garment field එකේ වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේගොල්ලෝගේ industry එක අදාළ නැහැ, but IT software තාක්ෂණය පාවිච්චි කරගෙන ඒගොල්ලෝගේ enterprise එක වෙනමම තත්වයකට අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා, digitally enable වෙලා data සහ AI smart විදියට use කරලා, cloud facilities smart විදියට use කරලා ඒගොල්ලෝගේ enterprises වෙනමම තැනකට අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මේවා තමයි opportunities ICT industry එකේ create වෙන enterprise පැත්ත. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ පොඩි කම්පැනි එකකට ජොයින් වෙන්න පුළුවන් සමහරලාට IT skill එකක් acquire කරගෙන. හැබැයි ඒ කම්පැනි එක මේ වගේ ලොකු enterprise එකක් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ මොනවද මේ ලොකු enterprises වලට වෙන්නේ කියලා දැනගෙන ඉන්න එක ඇත්තටම වැදගත්. ඒ වගේ කොහොමද IT software effectively use කරන්නේ? කොහොමද data AI effectively use කරන්නේ? කොහොමද cloud effectively use කරන්නේ? මේ වගේ දේවල් ගැන කියවන එක, මේ වගේ දේවල් හොයලා බලන එක හරිම වැදගත්. මොකද මේවා හොයලා බලන්න අමාරු නැහැ. ඕගොල්ලෝ මට බොහොම විශ්වාසයි ඕගොල්ලෝ හැමෝටම අන්තර්ජාල පහසුකම් තියෙනවා. ඕගොල්ලෝ දැන් Zoom එකෙන් log වෙලා ඉන්නවා කියන්නේම ඕගොල්ලෝට අන්තර්ජාල පහසුකම් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ තමන් ළඟ ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකක් ගොඩක් විට ඇති. ඉතින් විවේක තියෙන වෙලාව තියෙන හැම වෙලාවකම මේ පොඩක් කියවන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ කියවන්න ඉස්සර වගේ පොතක් දෙක අරගෙන කියවන්නම අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඕගොල්ලොන්ට විනාඩි 5ක් ඇති සමහරලාට අපි හිතමු manufacturing industry එකේ කොහොමද IT software use කරන්නේ කියලා පොඩ්ඩක් අවබෝධයක් ගන්න විනාඩි 5ක් ඇති වෙයි. පොඩි ආටිකල් එකක් කියවන්න, වීඩියෝ එකක් බලන්න, මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියලා ඕන තරම් materials, videos, articles තියෙනවා ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ. ඒක සර්ච් කරලා ගන්න. අනිත් එක මම resources මම links කීපයක් කියන්න. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ දේවල් ගැන අවධානයෙන් ඉන්න. මොකද මේවා තමයි වැදගත්. මොකද skill එකක් විතරක් acquire කරාට සමහරලාට ඕගොල්ලොන්ව position කරගන්න තව දේවල් ඕන. ඉතින් ඒකට මේ ලෝකේ කොහොමද තාක්ෂණයත් එක්ක ඉස්සරහට යන්නේ, ලොකු companies කොහොමද මේ තාක්ෂණය use කරන්නේ කියන එක අනිවාර්යෙන් දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන. in පස්සේ මම කතා කරන්නම් various disciplines of IT software industry. ඉතින් IT software industry එකේ කොයි වගේද areas තියෙන්නේ කියලා. So software development can come in various forms. You can be a product company, you can do freelancing, you can do consultancy, you can be an internal enterprise IT team. But irrespective of that, there are few disciplines coming out. So software development consultancy company will have software engineers. So the guys who develop software. So that can break into multiple areas like AI, ML experts, UI UX engineering, front-end developments, back-end developments, database engineering, and full stack engineers. So there are lot of variants. Mobile engineering, so lot of variants. Then quality assurance is another area to basically test and assure the quality of the software developed. Then business consultancy or business analysis. Then delivery management to manage the project. Platform mobile development, hardware and IT supports, system support. And these are some of the areas, and again, not an exhaustive list. These are some related subfields of IT software, and any of these categories will have a career path, career progression. If you take, let's say, if you take a full stack engineer, you start as an associate engineer. You can move to engineering, senior engineer, then lead, associate lead, senior lead. So there are various career paths, and you can become a very senior director or a vice president or a C-level person or a senior CEO, or you can even become an investor board member. So one beauty of IT industry is this career progression sometimes is very fast. You don't have to get yourself stagnated in one position for so long. If you are performing, you can basically progress very fast, because simply because there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities, and people recognize your talent, your skill, and they don't restrict yourself, because it's good for them also. Because if you have the skill set, if you have the talent, if you have that attitude to perform, then definitely they will give you that position, because then they can portray their organization. Okay, we have this much of architects within the organization, right? So it's a win-win. You also get benefit out of it, and the organization also get benefit out of it. So the career progression is very, very fast as far as you upskill yourself, as far as you are prepared to deliver, right? So that is the beauty of this industry. And you don't, of course, you will have to learn, acquire skills, certifications and all, but you have thousands of ways of doing it, right? It's not just paper qualification from a reputed university. Sometimes an online course and an online certification might be valued more than a degree. There are certifications like that, very advanced cloud certifications, and all, some of these things are valued in the industry, sometimes higher than a normal degree. So that's a reality, right? So and these certifications can be done fully online. You might have to pay a bit, but most of the organizations sometimes sponsor also. You can do this certification, we will sponsor the exam fee, right? So in that perspective, career progression is quite fast in this domain, and you have a lot of opportunities to acquire skills and expedite your career progression, right? And there are various disciplines you can select. As I said, the software engineering, it's not just coding. It may be quality assurance, it may be business analysis, maybe delivery management, mobile development, or even supporting live systems or supporting hardware, networking, right? So database engineering. So lot of areas, sub areas you can explore, you can think of, right? I will go into some of these areas a bit for you to get a deep understanding on what are these sub areas. So that's the beauty of this industry, right? And the other thing is bureaucracy is quite less in this field. Usually the organizations are flat, because you talk about agile principles, you talk about forming a team and quickly delivering something irrespective of the levels and all these things. So organizations are quite flexible, flat organizations, and in that sense, bureaucracy is also quite low, generally in the industry, right? So those are also some advantages you can experience in this domain. Yeah, so just to create some interest, if you have done some programming, or if you have gone through some of any of these IT or software development courses, I think this is pretty basic. But if you have not done any software development, and if you are new to this subject, and if you are in front of your laptop or the computer, you can do your first program right now, right? So that's how you should start. That's the energy you should have within you to learn some of these things, right? Maybe you can and then one point before I go to this URL. The beauty of this industry is you just need a laptop or a computer and fairly decent internet to start and thrive, right? So you can be a very senior architect, but with the laptop and the internet, right? But you will have to have that commitment, ability to learn something, ability to read something, understand and practice it, get the experience, right? So you just access this URL. This is free to use, and it will give you an editor or some sort of environment for you to run a program or type a code and run a program, right? So you can type https://colab.research.google.com, and you will if you are logged in with a Google account in the browser, you will be automatically logged in to that. Otherwise, you can log in with your Google account. I will give you a couple of minutes to log in. And once you log in, you can go to the menu, file, and access a new notebook. You can type this print within brackets, within double quotes, hello world, and close the brackets. And there's a small arrow in front of this notebook. You can run it. Then you will see the output of your first program, right? Maybe I will.
I think we lost Engineer Namal, we lost the screen sharing.
Yeah, I stopped screen share just to share a window.
All right, okay. Right. I'm just looking for the code to write.
Yeah, so you should get something like it's loading. So if you successfully log in, you should get something like this. So this is a notebook. This is something we used to write programs, right? So what I am suggesting is something like this, right? And you can so this is the first program. You can run that. you get the output here. Print it just print hello world. You can print your name. You can print whatever whatever you like. Right? So this is the simplest form of program you will hear in the programming world, and you can utilize the same platform to write a very complex code. Actually, the program language called Python is running behind this, and this is a free to use Google tool. You can run a very complex Python code, and basically you can program a very complex Python code and run it and test it. And then you don't you just need your laptop. You don't have to even install Python here because this is on the cloud, right? So there are a lot of tools available like this for you to start, right? So I just want to communicate the message that it's not something complex. It's to start with, right? Actually, you can write a very complex AI algorithm to detect a facial expression of an image uploaded, or maybe to process a video and identify whether there are vehicles in the video, how many people, humans in the video. So you can even write that kind of a very complex program with the same tool. But the start is very simple, right? So you can start with a very simple code, and you can try it out. So, and you can access help and documentation. You can see sample code, and you have a lot of other features here. I'm not going to cover everything because we have limited time, but try these things out. Right? So it's not something very sophisticated to start with. Yeah. So hope you got the message. I just wanted to show you how to write a simple code, and there are very various things you can try it out. Yeah. So I'm going back to. I hope few of you at least tried this out. Keep trying. Right? So keep experimenting. Keep trying different coding syntax, different things. You try to initiate. I'll go to my presentation. Yeah. Let me go to my presentation. Yeah. So the other program is this x equal 5. This is you initiating a variable, and you assign a value, and you write a logic, if logic. If x is greater than 3, you print x. Right? So you can write this, and you can change the value of x to 2 and see whether what is happening. Right? So these are pretty basic logics. Right? So but this is how you will have to start. These are the things you will have to do to just try it out. Yeah. So I will stop there. But you can try a lot of things with this tool, just with this tool. Yeah, because you don't have to spend a cent to do this. Yeah, and now I will try to give you an overview of how this kind of a simple code will evolve to a system, right? So here we started with a very simple code. As I said, this code can be a very complex code with multiple logics, multiple processings and multiple variables and all these things, right? So there are a lot of advanced programming technologies available to do various things, right? And then you might write that hello world output you wrote to the screen. You might write to a text file, and you might write it to a database and store it for future use. You might try to access database and get a record out, right? So these are some of the basic things you will do with any language, right? So you have a lot of languages like Java, Python, Node, PHP. So there are hundreds of languages available to do this kind of programming. So this is a very basic input-output system. You have a code, you write it to a text file or a database, you read from a text file or a database, and you process something and give a meaningful output. You do some calculations and these things. The importance of this coding is once you code it, you can reuse it, right? So if a human does this exercise, he or she will have to do it every time. But if you code it, you automate it, right? So and then you store it for future use, and you can pre-process it, right? So those are the advantages of coding and storing and retrieving from the store. So this is the simplest form of system you can imagine in software IT domain. Then this single line of code, or you call it monolithic code, then is broken into front ends and back ends, right? So usually front ends are like web applications or mobile applications with a user interface, or when you log into a website, you see some user interface. When you log into a mobile app, you see some user interface, and you see some data, you see some functions within that web or mobile interface, and there's a different very specific subset for front-end engineers or front-end engineering to do all these web mobile apps, and there are a lot of languages, technologies available just to do these front ends like React, then even PHP like technologies, then various mobile development technologies covering both Android and iOS, a lot of technologies. Then there's a backend which does the heavy processing and storing, right? So that backend is more for admins of that solution. And they administrate the system, and there are a lot of storages involved and a lot of heavy processing happening within the backend system. And that backend will have a separate code. So there can be Java-based backends, there can be Node.js based Node-based backends, or Golang-based backends. So a lot of languages involved. And database also, there are various databases, Oracle databases, SQL databases, and then MongoDBs, and a lot of databases, right? And then front end and back end connects each other, communicate with each other to make sure the user experience at the front end layer is optimal. Then, as I said, you store this. By the way, this is the database symbol. You see like few disks, and when you store data, you need to make sure you protect this data. And sometimes storing the entire data set in a single DB is risky. Then what you do is you create a replica of that data. You call it redundancy, having redundancy. You define various redundancy levels, 1+1 redundancy, n+1 redundancy. But the principle is you try to secure data in another environment. If one crashes, you have the data set in the other. That is again very important concept in software or IT. This securing data, right? So then you introduce the redundancy, and you can host these backend systems in on-premise data, on-premise servers. That is physical hardware. You buy some servers and you store with a network setup where that is where the networking is involved. You connect these servers, then you connect this. You have a connectivity to internet as well, so that users can access some of the services through internet. and then you store on premise. So you can you can host this application in cloud also, in Google Cloud or Amazon Cloud or Azure Cloud, Ali Cloud, a lot of cloud. And then sometimes you talk about geo redundancy. Again, the further redundancy. The geographical redundancy is to have the necessary resilience. Let's say we have one data center in one area, and there's a earthquake, right? And that entire premise is destroyed. However, you will have to secure the data and the application. That is where your redundancy come into play. So I just wanted to show how advanced this field is, right? This is the level people think when they design some of these systems, right? Even when there's an earthquake, they need to protect the data and the application. That is why they keep geo redundancy. So they have one on-premise setup and one in cloud, and maybe two on-prem setups to protect data and the application. So they simply host these applications in different domains. And sometimes you connect this backend with third-party systems. You integrate with third-party systems to get do some transactions. Let's say you integrate your system with a payment system to handle some of the online payments or payment gateways, right? So you connect with the bank, and when a person I will take an example to explain this setup. Let's say you log into Amazon or Ali Cloud to purchase something, right? That is where you access. That is where you access the web. You access the Amazon or Ali web. Then you search. That is a function available in the web application. So to search your product, right? Then when you search, the front end will connect with the back end data store and suggest you the best matches. Okay, let's say you search for a some maybe music player or hard drive. Then you search for it, and the system will give you a lot of suggestions from various suppliers, right? So that information is there in the backend. So web communicate with the backend to fetch that information and present that information to you. Then you select one, right? That selection, then you proceed to the next step, and now you are at the point of paying, right? So then the backend system, then once you enter your credit card, so the backend system will capture that information and connect with the third-party payment gateway to verify whether your credit card is correct, whether your PIN is accurate, whether you have sufficient balance. Once that is confirmed, then your payment will be confirmed. So that is how the backend works with the third-party system. So these are usual system designs, right? And you connect with the third-party system and get that functionality done, and then you can proceed to the checkout, and you will then backend will record, okay, you have done the successful payment and you have purchased that good. That is under your account, by the way. So backend maintains your user profile, your authentic user profile, and will mark, okay, this person has ordered this good. Then it might trigger another process to a warehouse, and the warehouse will ship you the item, and the backend will keep a track of that shipping as well. It will collect information again, maybe from third parties, touch points, and see whether the delivery is happening properly for you, right? So that is the advancement, right? Otherwise, if you are to do that with humans, it will take a lot of time and effort, and that business model will not be viable, because simply the effort and the cost is too high. But since you have automated the full cycle with this kind of a setup, you can do it, right? Then these backends are also advancing. So this is a single code, and now there are concepts like microservice-based backends hosted in container-based systems, and then maintained in a continuous development pipeline, and then and a lot of code quality governance, security governance. So those are some of the advanced concepts in front end, back end development. I'm not going to touch those, but you can read about these things, right? You must because there are a lot of materials available. Right? So backend software coding is also getting advanced. Then you connect these backends with data lakes. So data lake is where you collect all this data. Now, as I said previously, data is a real gold mine. It's a valuable business. So any person who maintain a backend system for B2C, that is direct customer business, maintains a data lake and harness that capability to enhance the experience or monetize, right? So now I will refer back to the previous example of ordering something online. Once you order that, when you log into your portal next day, you will get a lot of advertisement from this backend system or from your from the Amazon or AliExpress or that front end. You will see a lot of advertisement related to similar products, right? So that is where the data comes into play, because it has automatically identified, okay, you purchase this product, and there are a lot of similar products available in the backend based on the data, and some sellers willing to pay a premium if you advertise and get sell that on behalf of that seller. So the system advertises, right? And that's the additional revenue for the platform play as well as a good business to the seller. So that is how data comes into play. So almost all these backends are connected with data lakes with extract, transfer, ETL. You call it ETL. You just push data, extract, transfer to these things, and you push it as real-time systems, right? The real-time data streams. So these are some of the things happening in a classic software-based system or IT domain. When you design a solution with the coding, what we did with very advanced coding, but the same principle. This is what is happening. So most important message is so many skills roles required to design, develop, and maintain these systems are vacant, open, right? So many skills required. So they have front-end engineers required, back-end engineers required, database administrators, database experts required, integration experts required, project managers, quality assurance people, business analysts to understand what is the real requirement, then hardware system maintenance engineers, cloud engineers, networking engineers. So there are huge number of opportunities in one such system, right? So this is something we need to capture. And coming back to this slide, just to recap, I will do it in Sinhala. Software field එක IT field එක ගත්තාම ඒකේ sub field ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. Software coding engineering කියන්නේ එක area එකක් විතරයි. Quality assurance තියෙනවා, business consulting, business analysis තියෙනවා, delivery project management, mobile development, platform development, hardware, IT, system support maintenance, ඒ වගේ areas ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මම අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා පෙන්නපු system එකෙත් මම example එකෙන් කිව්වෙත් ඒකයි ඒක තනි system එකක් ගත්තත් ඒකේ මේ හැම role එකකටම opportunity එකක් තියෙනවා ඒක. Software engineering ගත්තා database, back end, front end, UI UX, AML මේ වගේ හැම sub field එකකම ආයත opportunities තියෙනවා. තනි සිස්ටම් එකක් වුණත් මේ තනි සිස්ටම් එකක් තනි බිස්නස් එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය වගේම සිස්ටම් එකක ඇඩ්වාන්ස් version එකක් තමයි Amazon store එක ගත්තත්, Ali store එක ගත්තත්, social media site එකක් ගත්තත් හැම එකකම තියෙන similar setup එකක්. ඉතින් ඕකේ මේ හැම skill එකකම opportunities තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒක නිකන් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ හැම field එකකම ඉගෙන ගන්න දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් පොඩියෙන් පටන් අරගෙන අපි දැන් අර තනි කෝඩ් එකක් ලියලා පටන් ගත්තා. ඒ වගේ පටන් අරගෙන තමන් ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න අමාරු දේවල් කිසි දෙයක් නැහැ මෙතන. ඕගොල්ලන්ට දැන් අපි හිතමු මේ මොනවද මේ මෙකැනිකල් ඉංජිනේරින් කරන්න නම් ඕගොල්ලන්ට වර්ක්ෂොප් එකක් ඕන වෙනවා, හાર્ඩ්වෙයාර් ඕන වෙනවා, ඒ වගේ දේවල් ඕන වෙනවා. ඉගෙන ගන්න උනා. හැබැයි මේක ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට අවශ්‍ය ලැප්ටොප් එකකුයි ඉන්ටර්නෙට් කනෙක්ෂන් එකයි විතරයි. ඕගොල්ලෝ යම්කිසි බේසික් නොලෙජ් එකක් අරගෙන ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක් කරගෙන ඉන්නොත් ඒ ඕගනයිසේෂන් උනත් උදව් කරන ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න අවශ්‍ය සර්ටිෆිකේෂන්ස් ලබා ගන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට. ඉතින් අනික මේ IT software industry එකේ career progression එක හරි fast. මොකද ඕගොල්ලෝ ඒක ඕගොල්ලෝගේ අතේ තියෙන්නේ. සමහර අයට ප්‍රොෆෙෂන් එක නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. බට් ඕගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් යදාළ ෆීල්ඩ් එකේ මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියලා නිතරම අවධානයෙන් ඉඳලා ඒවා තමන් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් ටක් ගාලා උඩට යන්න පුළුවන්. අනිත් එක මේ ඕගනයිසේෂන්ස් ගොඩක් අර මේ ට්‍රැඩිෂනල් ඕගනයිසේෂන්ස් නෙවෙයි. එහෙම ෆ්ලැට් හයරාකිස් තියෙන ඕගනයිසේෂන්ස්. ඉතින් උඩට යන්න යමක් නමක් හදාගෙන යම් කිසි දෙයක් කරන්න හරි ලේසි. ඒකින්ද තමන්ගේ අතේ තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ මේක. අනිත් එක මම ඉංජිනේරින් දන්නේ නැහැ, මේ මම IT මොනවත් කරලා නැහැ කියලා ඉන්න ඕන දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. පොඩියට පටන් අරගෙන කියවලා ඉගෙන අරගෙන මේ ගොඩක් දේවල් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අර පොඩි ඇනලිටිකල් ස්කිල් එකක් ඒ වගේ දේවල් ටිකක් තමයි අවශ්‍ය. මම ඒවා කවර් කරන්න මේ ඒරියාස් දෙක තුනක් ටච් කරද්දි මම කවර් කරන්න. ඒ වගේ දේවල් ටිකක් විතරයි අවශ්‍ය ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේක ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒකින්ද හරි ලේසි වැඩේ පටන් අරගෙන කරගෙන යන්න. ගොඩක් රිසෝස් මැටීරියල්ස් ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ තියෙනවා. මම මේ කීපයක් ඉස්සරහට කියන්නම්. එතකොට ඒ වගේම ඕගොල්ලන්ට පටන් අරගෙන කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් ඉදිරියට. ඉතින් දැන් මම මේ සබ් ෆීල්ඩ් වල පොඩ්ඩක් අතුලට යන්නම් කොයි වගේ දේවල්ද අවශ්‍ය කියලා. So I'll start with software engineering. Software engineering, as I said, is a profession, or he's a professional who design, develop, maintain computer software. Right? So he designs the software, he develops the software, and he maintains the software. So the basic skills required to become a software engineer is analytical skills, problem solving skills, teamwork and communication, coding skills using any programming language. Right? So simply put, this is not difficult. So as far as you are confident that you have the analytical skill, and luckily most of the Sri Lankans knowingly or unknowingly have this, right? So that is why people, whoever who enters this field is getting something out of it, right? And is benefiting out of it. So I'm sure it's just training your brain, utilizing the capacity to learn some of these things and apply some of these analytical skills problem solving by learning one coding language. You can start with one simple coding language. Python is a simple coding language, for example. PHP is again a simple coding language, for example. So they solve ongoing problems of an organization with software development, right? So and you can, as I showed you, you can start with basic coding, and there are a lot of materials available in platforms like LinkedIn Learning, Udemy, Coursera. So these are some of the online material, even YouTube, right? You go to YouTube and you just type programming or programming basics or software development basics. You will get hundreds of videos covering software development basics, right? So start with that without overthinking, without getting yourself in a complicated situation. You just start with basics. Just go through these videos, right? So you need to get a good understanding of programming fundamentals and concepts. So you listen to some of these videos, you read about what are the basic programming fundamentals, how a logic is applied, how the code is structured, and what is front-end programming, what is back-end programming, how you integrate front-end, back-end, how you access database, why you access database. You read about these things and then try to get that basic fundamental understanding. Then good algorithm knowledge and ability to code using at least one programming language. So algorithm is basically the logical sequence of something, and that algorithm is the one who solves the basically who model the business problem and make it an automatically solvable one, right? So I try to understand how algorithms work with by trying out, by coding, right? Not just by reading, by trying out, by coding with one programming language. Then understanding of database management systems. As I said, storing and dealing with data is very important in software engineering. That is one piece of the puzzle, right? So any software program will have to access at least one database or read from one database. Try to understand the basics of database management as well. It's uh, it's basically storing data in a meaningful, structured way so that you can retrieve it, use it in a later stage. And then you have a lot of databases. You can start with things like MySQL, a very basic database, and you can install any of these technologies or database systems or applications in your laptop. You don't have to access internet all the time, right? You can install PHP or Python or any of these software development compilers or editors in your laptop, and then database also in your laptop, and then you can have the setup in your laptop to code and run and try it out. You don't have to connect to internet even, right? So you read about those. That is also an important exercise, how to install one of these programming languages in your laptop, how to install one of these databases in your laptop, because those will give you that confidence. Okay, I know how this runs, right? So read about that also, how to install and what are the things you need to be aware of when you are installing some of these things, right? So you might even crash your laptop once or twice. That's fine. You just install your Windows and you get going, right? So try it out. Most important thing is trying these things out. Then certifications, memberships like IEEE Computer Society. Then, as I said, there are a lot of cloud, AWS, Azure, Google. They provide a lot of certifications, both in software development as well as cloud technologies. Oracle, again, a database technology they provide. And the other area is this Scrum concepts or Agile concepts. Now, usually, as I said, these software engineers work in Agile teams, right? So this Agile, that is to address the dynamic nature of the software developments, right? You can't just capture the requirement and complete it, complete the full development and go and show it, and then again address the changes. That cycle is usually not healthy in software development, because some of these things are quite dynamic, and you need to do multiple rounds of smaller developments, right? That is why you have introduced. That is why these agile principles are introduced, where you shorten the cycle and do it in multiple iterations. You do a small component, then you show it to the respective user and get a feedback, and then you capture some of these improvements and get the next iteration done. So you do it in multiple iterations. There are various disciplines, various ceremonies you do in a Scrum, but good to get that understanding as well, because you will have to work in that kind of an environment, right? Yeah. So and these are some of the things, very basic starting points of software engineering. And once you get yourself mature to a certain level, you can become a full stack developer, web developer, cloud engineer, machine learning engineer, mobile engineer. So lot of job opportunities available for software engineers who has acquired some of these skills, right? So So you search some of these links: Khan Academy, computer programming, free code camp .org, Coursera. There are a lot of materials. Udemy, there are a lot of materials. So this, by the way, this LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, Udemy. So remember these three platforms. Those will have more than enough resource materials free of charge uh, for you to start your journey in any of these disciplines, not only software engineering, any of the software IT related disciplines. You will get a lot of free materials in Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, and Udemy. Right? And they have web applications as well as mobile applications. So have both. Create a user account. Have both. Even when you are in a vehicle or in a bus traveling from one location to other, you just listen to one of these courses, right? So because it's not difficult, then these, at least this terminology will go into your mind, and that will help you to understand the next steps, right? So that's how you should learn. Okay. Then mobile engineering, a subfield of software engineering, but focusing on mobile application development, because this is becoming a very, very advanced and very sophisticated area, and then considered as a different discipline altogether. Right? So where you apply your skills to develop mobile applications in various domains, in Android, iOS, or cross domain, and so a lot of technologies are being used, and some different caliber skills required, because some of these mobile applications are connected to various tools available in the internet, right? So some that is where the the maximum utilization of some of these technologies come into play. Again, materials available in platforms like Coursera, Udacity, Udemy, and YouTube. Again, you maximize or utilize some of these videos available in YouTube. Right? Those are very, very powerful videos available in YouTube, Free Code Camp, Scan Alien. So remember some of these and then search, and then you will get a lot of materials, right? So how to, for example, how to become an Android developer or iOS developer or React Native developer. So read about these things, right? So it's the most important thing. From from today's session, you will have to have that basic understanding. Okay, there are fields like this. You can access some of these materials to learn, and there are a lot of opportunities outside if you learn. Right. So this is the key message you need to take out from today's session. Otherwise, because you can't comprehend any of these fields within a 2-hour session anyway. Right. So so I'm just giving some hints, areas for you to look at. So that you start your learning journey and be a professional in one of these areas, or few of these areas. Then business analysis, right? This is very less technical area, not non-technical, less technical area. A business analyst is a person who try to work with the stakeholders. Let's say you are doing a solution for one enterprise, right? So the business analyst will discuss with those the users, real users of that solution in that enterprise, and try to understand what they want with the solution, and what is the real functionalities they expect in the solution, because most of these end users will not know how to explain it technically to a software engineer. So the business analyst bridge that gap between the software engineer or the developer and the real user. So the user will tell his expectation in a layman language, and then the business analyst will based on his skill set in the domain, or with the domain understanding he has in that respective domain, he will capture that and break it into we call it user stories. User stories where a software developer can focus on and develop. Right. So a collection of these user stories will become a sub project, and we might call it epic. A collection of those epics will become a project, and the collection of projects will become a program. Right. So that is the hierarchy. So the business analyst try to derive the user stories by listening to the actual users and translating them to a software developer friendly language. So he is the bridge between the product owner, the user, and the tech team. Right? So this requires again problem solving skills, decision making skills, visual thinking skills, system thinking, communication, very important, negotiation, adaptability, and some domain knowledge as well. Let's say you are trying to do a mobile app to healthcare organization, then the business analyst will have to have some knowledge in healthcare to understand the healthcare jargon. Actually, this is where non-IT guys can even start their career, right? Let's say you are from commerce stream, let's say, and then you can be a business analyst for an IT company who does work for finance industry, who does software development for finance industry or e-commerce industry. You can play the business analyst role because you are from commerce stream, and you have some understanding and you know some jargon in that domain, right? So that will help you to translate what the actual user expecting to a software developer friendly user stories, right? So there you since you know the domain, you will have to learn what is the role of business analyst only, right? So you again lot of learning materials available in LinkedIn and Udemy, YouTube, Business Analysis Foundation, Agile Requirement Foundation. So these are some of the materials available in these learning platforms, and you can get an entry-level certification like entry certificate in business analysis, ECBA, right? From International Institute of Business Analysis. So these are also important because that will reflect or demonstrate that you have gone through some of these concepts and you know these things, right? So that is all. Getting one or two of these certifications also important, right? And and then there are things like this BA body of knowledge, BA book, right? This is free to access, even downloadable guide. You can read a guide to the business analysis body of knowledge, BA book, right? You can search internet and download one this and then even read. As I said, this is a fairly easier domain, and then non-IT guys also can target because you might have the domain knowledge and you need to acquire the skills required for be a business analyst, and then you have the domain and the business analyst skill, and you can join one of those companies, right? So do your background research. If you're from finance domain, what are the finance companies you can, or finance related IT companies who are delivering services to finance entities, and you can target one of these organizations and learn and join, right? Then UI UX engineering. So this is again becoming very popular, quite new, because in today's era, you see more and more webs and applications, mobile applications coming up, and user experience based design is becoming critical because the whole purpose of launching an app is to get the user base, right? higher the user base, better the results of that application and the benefits and advertising revenue and all these things. Right? So people then try to improve the experience to capture more and more users to that mobile application. That is where UI UX engineering come into play. So they should have that analytical skills to understand, okay, what is the optimum user journey to design or to depict this user experience in the mobile application, right? So the person will have to visualize it and make that user experience seamless and enjoyable for the user as much as possible, right? And he should have that creative mindset also, because he should cover the aesthetic aspects of the mobile app or the web as well, right? So and then he should have some tools to do some mock screens of the user journey, and then those screens will be helpful for developers to create those with using a mobile engineering or mobile development language. So again, a very good area, high demand. If you are a creative person, let's say you carry an art degree and you are a creative person, and you know it's not just drawing, right? Creativity is basically you can conceptualize something, and you can take put that concept into a nice visualization is something you should have. And if you feel okay, I'm creative, then please learn some of these technologies, because it's if you are a creative person anyway, it's fun to learn UI UX, right? Because you can get some digital tools. Adobe has a lot of tools, and there are free tools as well. You can play with colors, you can play with icons, window buttons, the layouts of these webs and apps, and then you can create some animations, and then you can put them together to get the user experience elevated to the next level. That is what UI UX engineering or UI UX engineer does, and then he put it into a nice documentation with we call it wireframes or design user journeys, and then hand it over to the developer, so that the developer can develop it with a language, and then he involves in the testing stage also to make sure what he has designed is actually developed, right? So if you are a person with some creativity, if you are a person with some knack to create some of these digital assets arts, maybe an area to look at. Lot of demand as far as you are a creative person, as far as you have that understanding of the tool set required, right? So, and there are a lot of certifications available, and then a lot of courses available. Read about the tools and technologies required for a UI UX engineer, and try to get start with a free to use tool. And you can even, if you are really serious, you can purchase one license of Adobe kind of a software and try it out. But a very good field for even for a non-IT person, non-engineer, non-tech person, because as far as you have that creativity, as far as you can understand how a user journey should look like. Yeah. Then quality assurance or quality engineering. This is again one very very important function of a project team, software IT project team. The prime objective of a quality assurance person is to make sure the product is free of bugs, is with adequate quality, and in terms of the functionality, redundancy, and data security and all these things, right? So, and it's not just testing. Even now, in nowadays, quality engineers get themselves involved in the project team from the beginning. When the user, when that VA or the business analyst comes with the user stories, from that point onwards, the QA engineer start designing some of the test scenarios and automating some of the test cases and working with developers to get some of these test scenarios embedded in the coding itself, right? So it's again in an engineering work, but the starting point can be just a functional tester where you test the functionality based on the documentation, based on the test scenarios written. You can do the functional testing, and then you can get yourself advanced to advanced quality engineering concepts. Again, a fairly easier easier domain in software engineering IT field. You can start as a functional tester, and you can go quickly in the field, right? Again, problem solving, analytical skills, effective communication, basic programming skills required, right? I will, since we have only 10 minutes, I will try to go a bit fast. And project management is again very important role. The project manager basically govern or manage the project, because as I explained in previous slides, there are software developers, mobile developers, front-end developers, QAs, then BAs, a lot of team members, right? So the project manager work with all these team members to sometimes lead the project, get the task assigned in an appropriate manner so that the team capacity is optimally utilized, and discuss with the business owner and decide, okay, how the delivery pipeline should look like, and what are the and then help the team to get some dependencies cleared. So it's basically but we should understand project management is not a superior role nor an inferior role within the project. So all are equal and they have a role to play. So project management, again, a role, and it's a discipline, right? So it's not just assigning tasks. So you will have to maintain the project health, project quality, communications, various agile scrum ceremonies, and that is why some of these things like certified scrum master, CSM, comes into play, and PMP, and there are a lot of certifications available like Prince 2, PSM, to become a project manager. But again, a non-tech person can start, right, his career as a project management, but again, some domain knowledge is required, and understanding of some of these Scrum, Agile principles, and understanding some of the terminologies in software industry is required. So you will have to read the basics. What are the roles of each and every person in a team, and how to govern that, how to maintain the project matrices, because there are a lot of delivery matrices involved. The quality of the project, health of the project is measured, right? And there are tools like Jira available to manage the project effectively. So you will have to learn at least one of these project management tools, right? So these are some of the things you will have to learn in project management to become a project manager. So not a pure tech role, by the way, but an important role. Again, an opportunity for non-IT people to try out. Yeah. Then cloud engineering is basically dealing with various cloud technologies available in both public and private clouds to enable infrastructure as a service, software as a service, platform as a service, to cater various software IT needs to business solutions. Because now this Google cloud, Amazon cloud is widely used in enterprise domain, and unlike previous days where physical hardware was basically used, now cloud technologies are used to host applications, run applications, store data, process data, and even some of the cloud functions, right, used in software development itself. So again, a very demanding field, a lot of demand for cloud engineers, and a lot of certifications available in AWS, Google, Azure, and you can do any of these certifications without any involvement of a third party. There's a payment involved, but you can learn and do these certifications on your own. If you are familiar with some of the cloud concepts, how cloud is used, and some of the scripting technologies and all, and then if you have the basic understanding of how operating systems work, how Linux, Unix systems are utilized, maybe one area you can try out. And digital commerce, this is related to maintaining, developing e-commerce platforms. Most of the enterprises tend to have some sort of e-commerce with them as of now. So there are technologies like Magento, Drupal, Salesforce available. And this is basically designing the e-commerce site, maintaining it, and helping to get additional traffic to the e-commerce site with digital marketing analysis, managing content of the e-commerce site. So again, quite high demand if you are a Salesforce certified person, or if you know how to work with Salesforce, maybe there's a lot of demand, right? So read about some of these things and try to bit of programming, scripting, basic knowledge of programming required, but may not be as complex as becoming a back-end engineer or a AI machine learning data engineer or a cloud engineer. So one area even non-IT, non-software guys can try out. Then application support and maintenance. This is again another important role where once you develop and deploy the application, someone will have to maintain this application. Someone will have to keep an eye of the application, whether it is running properly, whether the stats are correct, whether there are errors popping out from the applications, whether the CPU memory utilization is okay, whether the load handling is okay. So a lot of monitoring involved. Even though you see just an application running, there's a whole behind the scene, monitoring it, improving it, right? So another area you can start small, right? Even an non-IT guy can be a application support maintenance personnel with the basic knowledge of application monitoring tools such as Nagios and then Grafana and Kibana and all these tools. If you know one of these tools, if you know some scripting, you can become an application monitoring engineer and then get yourself advanced. And there are this is again, you can advance to a very high senior levels because this is a very critical area. A lot of technologies are involved because hardware monitoring, cloud monitoring, application monitoring, integration monitoring. So a lot of areas are involved when you become a senior person. So you can start small but grow. But again, a lot of opportunities. And SRE is an advanced version of application monitoring with advanced tools like CI/CD pipelines and container-based architecture monitoring and cloud instance monitoring and all these things. And advanced version, site reliability engineering, which we call it SRE. And DevOps, again, quite advanced technology where development operation combined into one single discipline pipeline. You maintain a continuous development integration pipeline and you do developments as well as deployments and monitoring in one pipeline, and you get a lot of tools involved in this discipline. Quite advanced, but a lot of demand. Then data science, again, the people who try to understand data and get a meaningful outcome of data and then do a lot of programming, data crunching to do that, and then automate some of these things with machine learning AI-based models, right? And data engineering is a related discipline. A person who code the AI algorithm, who the data science person might come up with the algorithm, but data engineering person might code that and maintain that in an AI ML environment, right? So these are quite these are areas with where deep tech is involved. A lot of programming skills required, a lot of database skills required. Different types of databases are being used in these disciplines. Not even MySQL, like Hadoop-like technologies, DFS systems, and all these things, and even real-time stream processing technologies, quite advanced, but a lot of demand. So the data engineering, data science is considered as one of the highest paid disciplines in IT software, right? Because of the demand and because of the wide usage in various disciplines. Then systems and solution engineer who design and develop and maintain these systems configurations and all, right? So once you get so, because as I showed you previously, this is not just a code, it's a collection of codes and integrated with each other, works as a system. So someone will have to be there to maintain this system, configure this system, and enhance the system. So this is where system solution engineer come into play. Again, a quite advanced field. So these are some of the fields available in software IT industry for you to try out. So the key message is there are various disciplines in software IT industry for you to try out, and it's not restricted to software engineering or coding only. There are various disciplines, and some are quite tech heavy and some are less tech heavy, and some requires various other domain knowledge as well. So you can pick and choose some of these things, do your own research, understand your skill sets, capabilities, and basically pick one of those areas. Nalin, can we maybe continue for 5 minutes or so, or should we?
Yes. How many slides we have? We have
2 more slides.
Okay, we'll quickly go through because Sanjay, is it okay to continue? Because I think Q&A session we can simply omit it and we can get those questions later, and I will share with you, Engineer Ahmad. Then for those serious questions, you can, if you can just reply through WhatsApp, it could be great. Sanjay, can we take 5 minutes?
Yeah, we can go up till 8:45.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, Engineer Ahmad, please proceed.
Okay, yeah. සිංහලෙන් මම පොඩ්ඩක් සමරයිස් කරොත් මේ software engineering කියන්නේ තනි discipline එකක් නෙවෙයි. software IT field එකේ ගොඩක් disciplines තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ හැම discipline එකකටම වෙනස් skill set එකක්, වෙනස් technology involvement එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට Tamanට ගැලපෙන කියලා හිතන area එක පොඩ්ඩක් හරියට හිතලා තෝරගෙන කියවල බලන්න මොන වගේ opportunities තියෙන්නේ, කොහොමද Tamanට ඒවා ගැලපෙනවද, කොයි වගේ work environment එකද තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම ගැලපෙනවා කියලා හිතෙනවා නම් මම ඔය සඳහන් කරපු මොන හරි learning point එකකින් පටන් ගන්න. ඒක අමාරු නැහැ. YouTube video එකක් බලන්න පුළුවන්, article එකක් කියවන්න පුළුවන්, LinkedIn Coursera වගේ Udemy වගේ learning portal එකක් access කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මේ වගේ ගොඩක් free materials තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ පටන් ගන්න. ඉතින් overall මම summarize කරොත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ qualify වෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි. ඉතින් ඒ අදාළ field එක අනුව බලන්න මොනවද හොඳ qualifications තියෙන්නේ කියලා. reputed qualification එකක් ගන්න. learning journey එක ඒක පොඩියට පටන් ගන්න, ගොඩක් complicate කරගන්න එපා. වෙලාව උපරිමයට යුටිලයිස් කරන ඕගොල්ලොන්ට වෙන මොන හරි ජොබ් එකක් කරන ගමන් හරි මේවා ඉගෙන ගන්න කිසිම බාධාවක් නැහැ. වාහන යන ගමන් ෆ්‍රී ටයිම් එකේ වීඩියෝ එකකට ලිසන් කරන්න, ඒ වෙලාව යුටිලයිස් කරන්න ඔප්ලිමලි. ඊට අමතරව සමහර platforms තියෙනවා ඕගොල්ලොන්ට මේ කනෙක්ට් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. for example meetups කියලා app එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ තියෙනවා අපිට BA community එක, ලංකාවේ ඉන්න BA community එක හම්බෙන events තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට participate වෙලා අහගෙන ඉන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන sessions. ඔයාලට BA කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕන නම් පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න participate වෙන්න. ඒවත් online උත් තියෙනවා, physical events උත් තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ICTA/com මේ වගේ organizations වලින් seminars කරනවා, promotions කරනවා. ඒවට පොඩ්ඩක් සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න. university career guidance units තියෙනවා. ඒවට පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරලා බලන්න කොයි වගේද වෙන්න ඕන කියලා. ඉතින් මෙහෙම ඒ කියන්නේ එක දෙයකට විතරක් කොටු වෙන්නේ නැතුව මේ හැමදේම try out කරලා බලලා හරියට decide කරගන්න කොහොමද තමන්ගේ career එක plan වෙන්න ඕනේ, කොයි වගේ area එකකට කොහොමද career එක plan වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද ඒක මටවත් කාටවත් prescribe කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. ඒක තමන් decide කරන්න ඕන දෙයක්. මොකද තමන්ගේ future එක ගැන තමන් decision එකක් ගන්න. හැබැයි අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් access කරලා බලන්න. මේ වගේ දේවල් කියවලා බලලා මේ දැන් පොඩක් access කරලා බලලා හරි decision එකක් අරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ මෙන්න මේ resources access කරලා ඔයාගේ මේ learning journey එක complete කරගන්න certify වෙන්න කියලා. ඉතින් ඕක තමයි key message එක. ඉතින් ලංකාව ඇතුලේ ගත්තොත් මම කිව්ව companies 500ක් 600ක් තියෙනවා. මේකේ මේ මම ඔක්කොම companies නෙවෙයි. මම නිකන් internet එකේ logos ටිකක් හොයාගෙන දැන් මේ companies වලට මේ companies එක කතා කරලා දාපු logos නෙවෙයි මේ. ඒකින්ද මේක marketing දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මම මේ just මේ companies වල නම් ටිකක් දැම්ම. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට familiar වෙන්න මෙන්න මේ companies තමයි නිකන් IT related. මේ සමහර companies product companies, සමහර companies project companies, සමහර companies BPO companies, සමහර companies resource outsourcing companies. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ various companies set එකක නම් ටිකක් තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. සමහර companies ලංකාවේ තියෙන companies, සමහර companies ලංකාවේ තියෙනවා. ඒ වුණාට mother company එක වෙන තැනක. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ තියෙන හැබැයි මෙහෙමයි. ඔය එක company එකක්වත් නරක company එකක් නෙවෙයි. Taman තෝරගන්න field එක අනුව හිතලා බලලා මේවට කතා කරන්න. මොකද මේ හැම company එකකම වගේ job opportunities vacancies තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ හැබැයි ඒකට අර basic skills ටික acquire කරගෙන යම්කිසි certification එකක් අරගෙන තමන්ව prove කරගන්න පුළුවන් තත්ත්වෙට එන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේ මම කිව්වා වගේ අර demand එක ටිකක් තියෙන හින්දා මේ ගොඩක් අය මේ තමන්ගේ skills වැඩි කරගෙන අවශ්‍ය position එකට apply කරනවා. ඉතින් මේක මේ නම් ටිකක් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පෙන්වන්න විතරයි මම මේක දැම්මේ. මේ පොඩක් මේ නම් familiar වෙන්න කොයි වගේ නම්ද companies ද තියෙන්නේ මේ ලංකාව ඇතුලේ සහ මේ කතා කරන අනිත් එක ලංකාව ඇතුලේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඕගොල්ලන්ට මේ කම්පැනි එකකට ජොයින් වෙන්න නැතුව ෆ්‍රීලාන්සින් කියන්නේ ඒ කියන්නේ තමන් මේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකකට ලොග් වෙලා ඒකේ තියෙනවා පොඩි ටාස්ක් වලට කඩලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔයාට ඒකේ ටාස්ක් එකක් අරගෙන කරන්න පුළුවන් යම්කිසි ඒකට ඔයාට පේමන්ට් එකක් කරනවා. ඒ ෆ්‍රීලාන්සින්. ඉතින් මේ ඇවිල්ලා ඒ වගේ ෆ්‍රීලාන්ස් සයිට්ස් කීපයක් ෆ්‍රීලාන්සර් කියලා තියෙනවා, අප්වර්ක් කියලා තියෙනවා, ගුරු කියලා තියෙනවා, ටොප්ටෙල් ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. මේ පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න කියවලා සමහර ඒවා software development, සමහර ඒවා graphic design, සමහර ඒවා content creation, marketing ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. එහෙම වුණත් පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද ඒකත් හොඳයි. එතකොට ලොකු risk එකක් එහෙම නැහැ. ඕගොල්ලන්ට දැන් කරන job එක කරන ගමන් වුණත් මේ පොඩි ෆ්‍රීලාන්සින් සයිට් එකකට රෙජිස්ටර් වෙලා බලන්න පුළුවන් තමන්ගේ ස්කිල්ස් ටෙස්ට් කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ පටන් ගන්න මේ මොකද මේ ජොබ් එකක් කරන්න ජොබ් එකකින්ම පටන් ගන්න ඕන කියලා නැහැ. හැබැයි මේ ඕන දෙයක් කරන්න කලින් තමන් මොන ඒරියා එකද තමන්ට ගැලපෙන්නේ සහ ඒකේ බේසික්ස් මොනවද කියන එක තේරුම් අරගෙන යම්කිසි අධ්‍යාපනයක් නැතුව මේ එකකටවත් එන්න වෙන්න නැත්නම් ඒකට ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නයක් කියන්නේ ඒකට ඕගොල්ලෝ සාර්ථකව ඉස්සරහට යන්න අමාරුයි. එහෙම කරගන්න නැතුව. ඉතින් එකපාරටම මේක ලොග් වෙලා බැලුවට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. බට් යමක් බාර ගන්නවා නම් Tamanට කරන්න පුළුවන් තත්වයට Tamanගේ knowledge එක භාවිතාව improve කරගෙන ඒක මේ try out කරන්න. ඉතින් ඕවා තමයි තියෙන opportunities සහ paths different paths ඕගොල්ලෝට select කරගන්න. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි මේ ප්‍රධාන දේ. So I want to end the presentation with this. Each one of us, each one of you have a brand value. You will have to increase it, right? You will have to increase it by adding knowledge, skills, experience consistently. You can't end your learning journey because it's everyday learning that will make you a better person. And that will increase your brand value, because that brand value is the value you market in front of an employer for you to get a task job, and then that brand value is the ultimate value you can get for yourself, right? So that is basically that is what you should keep your focus on. So keep improving, keep learning, keep continuing acquiring skills and experience that will definitely will deliver results, right? So with that, I will end the session.
Thank you, Engineer Namal, and thank you very much for your comprehensive content, because I know for a fact that it's quite a bit of a large area to cover in 2 hours time. I'm sure that you have done the justice to the whole spectrum you have gone through and cover up and giving opportunities and just opening our eyes where we can focus and where we have to start, where we have to improve ourselves. And thank you very much. And it took some times, and I'm sure that Q&A session we are not planning to continue today, because there will be a lot of sessions. There will be 7 more sessions. Therefore, please keep your questions ready, because these resource personnel are some of the world's, we can say, one of the best resource personnel we have. And Engineer Namal Jayatillaka himself is the Chief Technical Officer of Axiata Digital Labs. And we will quickly go 1 or 2 questions. Sudarshan, you have a question? Just make it very briefly. Sudarshan, you have anything to add? Or it was a, maybe it was not a hand raise, but it was a, maybe an upload. Anybody who has a question, you can take 1 or 2 minutes time. If you have very serious and an essential question, if you feel that it's an essential question. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It still we have over closer to 400 participants. And Engineer Namal, do you have anything to make some final as a final message? Like if you can take one minute's time, then just to give a final message. Especially there are a lot of undergraduates here, and there are people who's having their other jobs here, parallel working, and so it's quite obvious that you mentioned that it's a working approach, but I think people have some doubts. I think it's all about commitment. And can you make a final remark just to conclude the session, Engineer Namal?
Absolutely. So as I highlighted during the session, it's a learning journey. That start is the most important thing. So you start small, don't complicate anything. You just start by reading 1 article, right? And you do it today. Don't postpone things, right? So you do it today. You try it out, and you can definitely do some freelancing and even some part-time job while you do your current job. And all some of these software related disciplines are not 100% technical, and there can be related fields. For example, as I said, UI UX. If you are a creative person, that may be one area for you. And there are a lot of opportunities, freelancing opportunities, right? And if you are good at working with people and basically getting people together and managing project management, right? And then if you are a finance domain expert, maybe you can be a business analyst in finance for in a software company, right? So so there are opportunities, more than enough opportunities. So you figure it out, right? So you figure it. Okay, read about few related fields and you figure it out, and then start learning, right? And none of these things will go for a waste. Even though you don't do a job, even though you don't do a single coding, none of these things will go in waste, because we are day to day dealing with software IT related services solutions, right? So this knowledge will come handy even though you monetize it or not. So start learning today. That's the only thing I can say. Yeah.
Thank you, San. And it's a pleasure to have Engineer Namal being our first presenter today. And it was, as I mentioned, it was a huge content, but he has done the justice by comprehensively presenting and give this a lot of eye openings to us. And thank you, Engineer Namal. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the session. And please don't forget to mark your attendance. It's in the chat box. You can mark your attendance, and even still in the YouTube live streaming as well. And don't worry about if you have missed any content of this. We will share the YouTube recording or it's in our YouTube channel. Therefore, you can simply go and check anything you have missed anywhere. But again, at the same time, you can share with all of your friends, and please make this as a learning opportunity and to share the knowledge at the same time, as we have mentioned in the beginning. So it's quite a challenging time in the future. What we have to do is to enhance our knowledge and to face the challenges. Engineer Namal, thank you again. Thank you very much. And it was a pleasure to have you and an honor to be as a presenter for the first presenter today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll see you in next Saturday, the sharp 6:30. And it's the 10th of December is our next meeting day. Until then, good night and have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.